Okay, so here is the old formation. It's great, heavily used, and I'm sure it'll come back into play for me during the multi-stage levels. Um, has the Iron and Sophia. Still missing Chicken, but working on him. 2 furniture so far. But anyways, a couple months ago I got a hint of a new up-and-coming formation. And so here it is. Okay, let's go over why this works, how to prioritize the signature items, gear, and furniture for the heroes, and the possible substitutions to use with this comp. So, let's jump straight into priorities. First off, there's the signature items. There are a lot of really good signature items in play here. So in general, tailing will always be priority, but for this team specifically, the priority is Albedo, then Ains, Tailing, Rowan, and then Ezio, who you can just stop at SI 20. So Albedo will increase all dimensional heroes' defense by 75% and attack by 45% at SI 30, which is huge. Ains just makes his nuke more nukier, which is also very good. 10 and 20 allow him to skip the chant phase 2 or 3 times respectively, and it's needed when you start getting into the higher progression stages, and then 30 makes it do more damage. It's not super necessary until you hit like chapter 28 or 29 depending on your hero levels. Tailing and Rowan are also always solid choices up to 30, potentially the 2 best overall, helping the entire team out with survivability and energy gain. You really only need to focus Ezio to 20. After that, if you get him up to 30, you're just helping out your RNG. He becomes a hero that can pretty much solo the maps himself. I did have one instance where he did that for me just because of his awesome dodge. Okay, so next we have the gear. For the gear, you want to focus primarily on damage, and then lastly on support. So you have Ains, then Ezio, then Albedo, and then Tailing and Rowan. Ains gets a nice damage buff and can actually tank a bit on good gear. Albedo is a squishy tank without the gear. A good alternative for strong gear for her is a 3 of 9 furniture with good survivability from that. And then Tailing and Rowan don't really need great gear, but every bit helps. So lastly, the furniture. I'm putting furniture last because it's relatively hard to get in a short period of time, and really the furniture isn't as game-changing as the other two for this comp. There are some exceptions though. The highlights are, well, in order. You'd want Ains at 9, Tailing at 9, Albedo at 3, Ezio at 9, Rowan at 3. So Tailing and Ains fight over top priority here. I'd like to say Ains to 9 is the top for this comp specifically, but you can never go wrong. Upgrading Tailing and hers will be better for most other aspects of the game. So Tailing at 3 of 9 allows her to do more damage while dead and revive quicker. 9 of 9 gives her tankiness with shield and drops more meteors. Well, this team doesn't necessarily need another carry. These upgrades start making Tailing one as well. Ains 3 of 9 allows his magic caster ability to deal more damage, and this is decent but not entirely necessary. The good one is 9 of 9 because it cuts his ability time for the really bad one from 24 seconds to 15 seconds. So watching my battles, I noticed that he and the rest of my team hardly ever made it to 24 seconds alive, but almost always made it to 15 seconds alive. At which point this ability cuts all enemy life in half and stuns them for 4 seconds, which is literally game changing. Albedo 3 of 9 gives her some extra bulk, which is nice. You don't really have to go up to 9. It's not that great, considering she's a tank and not doing a ton of damage. Ezio 3 of 9 is really not needed. 9 of 9 is neat for getting the proc off fast, but he still needs to wait before Ains before he really does much. And he gains energy pretty quick anyways. Roman 3 of 9 is okay for extra heals. 9 of 9 gives slightly more heals, but it's a pretty big investment for a small game. That'd be like a long-term one, just let it accumulate over time. For artifacts, you'll want Call on both Ains and Rowan for energy gain, Dura's Chalice of Vitality, or the Barricade for extra bulk on Albedo. and Grace on Ezio for extra dodge, and Blade on Talene for damage. Once you get past 2960 with this comp, you'll want to get the Windbinder from the third Trial of Gods for Ains. With this comp, it should be fairly easy to get the 32 points for the max amount of shards, the upgrade shards for it as well. If you select these debuffs for the trial, you should be able to make it through relatively easily. Just turn down the speed on the battles and reset it if anything goes wrong. However, I don't think my team had any problems getting through this. And then after you get the Windbinder and the extra shards, you can make that a 3-star, which will really help Ains proc almost right away in battles. A couple things you'll find while running this team is you can throw Ains in front of Athalia's and Iron's, as he doesn't get sucked or he doesn't get the first hit from Athalia. And you can pretty much rotate most of these heroes for any position. Ains, don't be afraid to throw him in front to try to get a proc off real quick. He can tank a little bit. He will die relatively quickly, but maybe Albedo will jump in to keep him alive. Also, you don't really know. So go ahead and shift all 5 of them pretty freely, honestly. As long as you can keep Rowan in range to give Ains energy, you should be good to go. So since this is a pretty specialized team, modifications to this comp as a free-to-play may be difficult, as the best ones are Solopagians. For the multi-team energies, you may want to free up Talene and or Rowan, and the best way of doing this would be using Arthur, Aziz, Twins, Mortas, or Alna. Arthur is great in front of Ains for the haste and tank bonuses. He also provides the third dimensional if you wanted to drop Ezio or if you don't have him. So the problem with Arthur these days is all of the double dimensionals coming out, using up all of those resources. So again, hard as a free-to-play. Besides that, you have Twins and Aziz can turn this team into a semi-lockdown comp. Mortis can directly replace Rowan with haste and heals for Ains, and Alna seems super solid when it comes to slowing down the enemy team. This team is also quite solid in terms of PvP. My team is now a menace for players with even 30 higher hero levels above mine. General idea for the team is just high initial damage from Ains and allow Ezio to clean up house. So, let me know what you think of the team or how you would adjust it. Also, I was thinking of potentially creating a series of guide videos, considering how much info in the game I consume and relay to others, and typing it's not fun. If there's something specific you want me to cover, please let me know. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing, or just letting me know in the comments, as it'll motivate me to do more. This whole push was recorded in a live stream I did the other day. You can check it out on my channel, or if you want to see it in action more. And thanks for watching.